information from the literature source. Next Monday, I'm going to draw lots for the order of presentations in November, and probably another week or so after that, I'm going to have you commit to the title so that I can publish the schedule at least a couple of weeks before things happen, so the faculty know what's coming up. And I think that's all. Anybody got any quick questions before we start? Okay.
Good afternoon. My topic is the rehabilitation of Spanish Town Historic District with an application of the semiotics of education. Introduction is that I believe that buildings carry meaning, and also that majority of the time the users usually leave with the wrong interpretation of the building, not exactly what the architect wants them to be. Then, therefore, the architect should recognize and understand specifically the language of building. So for my thesis research, I'm trying to understand not the entire aspect of language, but specifically as it relates to semiotics, and then apply it to my design purpose. For my research, I found that there are basically three principles. There are at least 9 principles of semiotics, but there are only 3 that relate to architecture, which is pragmatic, syntactic, and semiotic. And what I try to do is look at what each means and how it relates to architecture. I found that for pragmatic architecture, it's anything that tries to stimulate the senses, like seeing, hearing, you're touching, when in regards to architecture, that's specifically what it uses. For the synthetic part of it, it's mostly using geometry to create spaces. And for semantic architecture, it's more about understanding the meaning, what it is exactly that the building means. So for one of my case study, I looked at the Parthenon building, and it relates to the semantic part of it. And it spoke about the building itself as an object that persons can physically see. And then it spoke about the signifier, which is more about having a medium, for example, a photograph of the building, diagram of the building, or just a word to describe the building itself. And then it also spoke about the signifier, which is basically what the building stands for, which was in ancient Greek, it was democracy. So that's what it was. And he said that most people, when they think about the building, will actually think of it as being the symbol of perfect architecture. And it was more about power and control. So kind of like that's what I want to investigate for my thesis. For my application, it's in Spanish Town, Jamaica, and it's an historic district. It was once the original layout was when the Spaniards used to govern Jamaica. But after the British took over, they actually destroyed the building, but the layout of the site itself remained. And there's 4 buildings, not entirely, because 3 of of them was destroyed by, two of them was destroyed by fire, which is the King's House and also the old courthouse. So these two, the House of Assembly and the Rodney Memorial, still there, and the courtyard itself. But the thing about it is that these two buildings, one, the Rodney Memorial, is just it's an archive, and this one is both the old, when this got destroyed, became the courthouse, but it's now the House of Parliament for Spanish. That's what it was. It was once blooming with life, and it was the place to be, but it's no more. So my thesis is to create this place that once was and investigate a way using semiotics to invite persons into the state itself, so that it's no more. I actually looked at maybe because of what it was and what it stood for, why persons don't want to use it anymore, or maybe because of the activity that's going on there now. So I also looked at ways like to invite persons, because once the activity is right, then persons will want to go there. If there is something to do that means something to the people, then it will invite persons. So that's where I'm at, you know. And I believe that architecture can create memory and it can influence and shape the experience of a place. So my thesis is to create this unforgettable architecture that person would always want to be there.
Last question.
What do you plan on building? Are you going to revitalize those two structures?
Yeah. I'm going to revitalize these. I can't do, like, I can't change the
Form,
because of the historic meaning. But this one is just this. So I can actually work with this side. It's just that the facade to the square itself, you cannot, so for instance, this, I cannot adjust or change anything on this. I can just only rearrange it.
So when you say rehabilitate, are you going to repurpose it, or so it's going to be a totally different?
The use, the activity of the, because this was one, a governance house. So my application is going to be multi-use case where you're going to have like commercial on the lower floor and then residential, because you can't go higher than 3 stories.
So do you think that's like taken away from, I guess, the historical aspect of trying to create a commercial space instead of like maybe a museum or a school or something more institutional?
Why I didn't limit myself to that, I don't want it, remember I'm trying to create this place where everybody wants to go. So I just don't want to limit, say for example, because school is only addressing one group of people. So if you're just going there because it's a school, there will be a certain age group where I want it to be like, for instance, say in the day, in the morning, it's about persons going there to get coffee drinks before going to work. Then, so at different times, the activity will change. Like in the evening, it's about persons coming out, taking a stroll in the courtyard. And then in the night, it will be more for our age group where the party. And so the activity would be one setting for the entire day. It depends on, so it addresses every group. Because I don't want it to be be,
Exclusive.
yeah, because for now, because this was a portal and this is archive, only people, those who work within the space, but nobody goes there, that's why it's private. And literally, that's what it is actually. Yeah.
I was just going to say, and I'm thinking, when I see this, I'm not thinking of college store, they have the museum stuff. It's the museum of the college. I think that does bring some like, and then you can have small, very small amount of commercial. Because too much of that gets to the insurance. So I think you're right, it's a small amount of fees that the people who come to the museum.
What do you plan on doing in the village connect? To get everybody, what do you plan on doing to have everybody go to the courtyard?
I'm going to develop not only here, but in my country, the street is not only just a street. It's for things like persons to sit on the street to play down and do football and stuff. So I'm thinking about integrating not only just the courtyard, but everything, developing the connection between the streets here, these streets, so they become a part of, like, invite, because remember my things about getting person, they're inviting, so I'm setting the streets for these people.
Are there a lot of tourists that go to this place? So maybe it's all about marketing. Because in the Bahamas, FAMUSOA Square is where everyone goes and just takes pictures of
That's why I
all the
said
buildings
if the
and stuff.
activity is not right, persons wouldn't want to go there. There's no
Because
activity
they're not,
to invite.
Right, but
Yes.
they don't have any commercial. There's no
There's
commercial
nothing,
here.
no.
So that's it.
Something that you may have mentioned, but I want to say here, because I think it's an important part of this, is you're doing an analysis of the culture to come up with not just visual palettes, color systems, textures, architectural motifs, but also lifestyle, activity, spectrums, and that kind of thing. So that what you choose to put here and how you design it will become the magnet that you hope it will be. And if I'm remembering right, tourists don't have any play here at all. The way you're going to populate this is with the people around. So it's going to be a local group, and it'll be things like street markets and things like that that get them to come and make a place and provide it.
I'm not, even though Jamaica is also for tourists, it's not about the tourists, it's about drawing the person who is around and things like that.
Are they apartment spaces or just houses? Like individual houses?
It's some commercial, but these are commercial. Some probably going to color coding for commercial, but these are all the
And that is back there too?
yeah, all the
I think you might be smart to hedge your bets by, at least at a master planning level, maybe with color swatches. Assuming that it's an okay thing to do, to densify the residential areas, to build up approval level demographics that are likely to populate it, as opposed to just leaving it this way, which looks pretty loose. I'm not saying high rises, but maybe you show some residential infill to have more people proximate to this place as a part of designing your streets, as they kind of come out from the place.
The thing is, this was the capital, but after I moved to Kingston, everything moved. So Kingston is like 10 minutes from there. The person basically just go home to work and then come back to sleep.
There's actually in Colombia, in Cali, Colombia, there's a square. It looks just like this. And what they did was, like, I guess a building there that was burned down. Something similar happened, and what they did is create a library with commercial at the first floor and libraries pretty much everything else on top. But they did a pretty good job with the square in the center. There's always activity going on. Just always activity. They have big benches, they have markets there. They have a statue that talks about the history of, I guess, one of the famous warriors that was there, so it's like very famous to go to. Maybe, I don't know, you put a statue of the king, or whatever else, like a figure that was, very important to that part. The Spanish town. Also in Bilbao, they have, actually in Colombia, in Colombia there's a thing, every church, wherever there's a church, there's always a courtyard in front of it. Always. I think probably like 75% of all Colombia is like that. So you can look at, Cali, Colombia is the one that has the biggest, but there's a lot of churches around, and they do a really good job of like creating these courtyards that before it used to be a place where people used to go instead of building there.
Because like I said, the video was originally from when the this year. That's what they did. They always have squares with courtyards, like all over the lake. It's about the central courtyard building their own, the creating always their own central courtyard.
What's this on the end? The side of the king's house.
It was like households for, so what they have now is like things displayed inside of this building. So it was like a stable and
So it's being used now?
they just have stuff that was destroyed in fire and displayed. Just not a lot of stuff.
So it could possibly be a museum kind of thing.
Sorry.
The group voiced concern that I think you addressed, but I think it's important to note it. And that is that this place has a history and kind of a trajectory that is sober, governmental, sort of formal.
Yeah.
And they're wondering whether you think it's okay to reconfigure it so it's a bustling place with stuff per se, which would change its fundamental energy. But again, if I remember in one of our earlier conversations, there was a negative aura around this having to do with power, and you want to squash that by totally changing the energy of this place.
Because my season for the archive is stories of the purpose, so they can just walk up the street and walk there. So it's more about having control in what is going on in these buildings. So my idea is to change the activity and then to change the real person doing the space.
We thought about putting a restaurant. So there's in Spain. Pretty much like the restaurant right down the street, but then there was a park, and what they created was kind of a pavilion, and all it was just nothing to see. And they bring you the food, like they literally walk across the street. They had like a system going on. It was in what's the name? You guys I think it was like or review names, but it was I don't know. It was pretty cool because it was a huge plaza. They created this pavilion, and it was just like, one, it was attraction. I was like, what is that? Two, it was a very like nice restaurant. And you sit there, and it was a good, attraction for everybody, and then just walk around with it. So that's a good idea. Burgos. That's what BUR.
In your study of semiotics and culture, and I understand what you're trying to rewrite the semiotics of this place, that seems to be a place of power. Have you come upon any research that gauges like how long it takes for people to accept what you're doing? Like, because I can like, let's say if you actually build it, and then I'm thinking like between the generations, some people will say, well, I'm still not going down there because of represented. Whereas younger people, they might know the stories of the fold entirely yet, so, but they'll go down there and see that. So it's a blessing place. I just want to know, like, have you come across that, or is that of any other concern in your?
Because remember it was about slavery, and it was about having control over the authority. And even to this day, the buildings, even though it's run by the people of America, still have that same having power over. So it's like a mental thing that's going on. So for my research, like I'm trying to figure if the, like I said, if there is a different setting or a different team, when persons want to go there and are really just that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to invite persons into the space.
So the long side of that is the study was the West Side building in Massachusetts, and it was kind of before the building when the old building was there, they used to hang girls or like witches. I forgot what it was, but they used to hang people in front of it. And then now they flipped it, and now it's just a sort of place, and nobody knows about it. To be honest, you read about it in books, and it's kind of like when you go there, you don't get that feeling at all. It's kind of like there's a grand place down to the entrance. But before it was, I think it's what it was. They used to hang girls or something. I think that paper, I forgot what it was exactly what it was. But the chair, so that's exactly what it is.
Also in downtown Tallahassee, there used to be a place where they sold slaves. That was a slave market as well. Robles knows about that. No, I'm serious. Like he said it but yeah, downtown they used to sell slaves there. That's where you got First Friday and all that and have fun. They used to sell slaves. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
I think a lot of what you're hearing will get addressed. The kinds of things you put here are key and embedded to getting life back. If the local population is used to hitting the streets to buy their veggies and meats and all that stuff, there's a lot of opening the market as opposed to just, let's say, optional things. I think that makes your cultural study really important, so that what's here is not something they can take or leave, it's something that they look forward to using as urban equipment, a way to get their days done. So there'll be an aspect of leisure, there'll be an aspect of shopping, there'll be an aspect of kids, it puts the right kind of pressure on your cultural. One more thing.
I kind of like looked at some of the stuff, like I said, persons selling stuff on the street, children playing football, persons. So the street is not just for people alone. There's other activities, persons dancing, because they usually like street dancing, and persons just hanging out.
One more question.
You said that the government moved to downtown. Do you have pictures of how they treated that area around the important spaces? Yeah, because they may not allow you to build those kind of stuff adjacent to there.
This is going to when you move, that was what it was.
Okay, let's move to Tunisia, Europe.
Okay. My thesis on the current topic is augmented robotics and surveillance architecture. And this is a contained by value. Gives you a clue to surrealism, not reality, quite reality, but kind of doing like the border between the subconscious and the conscious mind. Okay, so it started with Andre Breton. And he was influenced by Sigmund Freud, and his method of psychoanalysis with free association, which is spontaneous, largely constrained on direct association of ideas, emotions, and feelings. Basically, what that is allowing the patient to, I guess, bring forth whatever comes to mind without being, I guess, coaxed into saying anything. So what Sigmund Freud would do with his patients, you just like allow whatever comes to your mind, just go ahead and say. So that way, he thought that he could tap into the subconscious, and by doing that, he'd be able to administer, I guess, healing to the patient. That was part of the healing process, being able to, look within the subconscious to figure out what's really going on. And so Andre Breton took that a step further, and wanted to apply that to writing, and he believed whatever was in the subconscious was true. So what he wanted to do was bring that forth and create a new type of reality where you come from the subconscious into reality. So that's kind of what surrealism is. Here's another definition. It's pure psychic augmentism. So it's either expressed verbally or it can be expressed in other methods such as writing, painting, what they sculpture, but the surrealists call the surrealist object. So it's more of assemblages. And here's some examples of surrealist work. In the beginning stages, they had automatic drawing, which is the most simple form. What they would do is they would start doodling or scribbling, just let their hand go wherever they felt like going, and not really having any conscious effort into doing whatever they wanted to do. So then they would use their mind's eye to kind of see what was coming from the image. So they would like doing it unconsciously with their subconscious, and then when they go back to look at it, they try to derive meaning or substance from their scribbles. And so they go back and they kind of go over the automatic drawing. Another technique that was kind of semi-automatic was frottage. And what they would do is they would get something textured, like for instance, we did fish bones, like Max Ernst did, he used fish bones, and apply paint to a canvas, and then he would rub the texture onto the paper, and then we get some text, this texture like this, and then you try to derive meaning from that. And this is called dubbing the forest. So the texture created kind of this forest, and he went back and kind of finesse, the forest a little bit, so you can really see the forest that he derived from the fishbowl texture. And then he added the here's a little more about augmentism. Dolly, he did the lobster phone. It was just kind of like whatever kind of caught his eye. They said that he'd go like to the flea markets, whatever would catch his eye, he would just kind of mash the two together, and that's what you get. Not this way, so, and then Rose, I know one article said that sometimes you start off with like I guess a jelly thing would drop on a piece of paper, and then from that you just get inspired to draw around that. And this is kind of in the sense of this called Ubuntu is another painting similar to that. But it's whatever comes to mind, whatever comes to the subconscious, to let it come forward and create this this true sense of art. But then, as the movement progressed, people like Gaudi wanted to explore the subconscious in a different way by looking into dreams. And this is one of his more famous paintings, The Persistence of Time. And one thing is, the images, they're obviously not real, but developing the technique where you can make it look so real, you kind of question, the whole reality. You understand that it's not real, but at the same time, the way he does them makes it look real, so then you kind of question, is it real or is it not real? Because it all stems from, this dream. A technique they often use is, they kind of go into a dreamlike state, or they try to go into a trance before they go to sleep. And whatever image that they came to their mind, that's what they try to paint or put down on canvas. And this is a little more about poetics, as far as it's not automatic, and that's kind of where the movement kind of diverged, because it went from automatic to more a thought out process. Like you can tell this is not just scribbled down, or it was, a drop of paint that was inspired. It was more so tapping into the mind on another level. And as far as the user being able to see it. So before it was more so the painter tapping into their subconscious in order to create art. And now it comes to tapping into the mind of the person who's viewing the art. And these are both boundaries, but one of his more famous ones is this one of the pipe, and it says, this French book says, this is not a pipe. And so you can question, the image is like, of course it's a pipe, but in actuality it's not a pipe, it's an image of a pipe. So then there lies, you question, objects, you question reality because they can be misleading. Because you see a pipe, but at the same time it's an image of a pipe, so it's not a pipe. And that's one of the things he wanted to bring. And then this one of the apple in the room. This one you kind of question, okay, well, is this really a gigantic apple, or is this maybe a dollhouse with the apples in it? Because of the sheer scale of it. So this is kind of along the lines of juxtaposition, but that it's still questioning, the user still questioning what is this that I'm looking at? Is this reality that he created? And as far as my precedent, the first precedent I have is the Guggenheim Museum. I use this in particular because of the process that Gary used in order to create it. And it's a semi-automatic process. He often uses scribbles, and when he doodles this, he tries to evoke the image of the building through these scribbles. So they're not really these real forms, but he just has an image in his mind that's inspired by the place. So it's kind of like this, subconscious inspiration, and he just scribbles it out. And then after that, he tries to create models from the scribbles that he did, and then assembles them and places them in the plan. And here's a view of the interior. Mixing, matching materials, form. It's just how these match with different things. So it's not like it's thought out, but not completely thought out to a degree where everything is straight lined and pretty boxy. It's kind of this like free flowing type of aspect. he says he wants to maintain the original image that he first came out with. And this is my site. Site of the competition. It's for the Louisville Children's Museum, and it's a lot of regulations down on the edge. The site competition has to do with the Children's Museum, park, high-tech building, and the parking garage. I know it sounds like a lot, but the high-tech building, it doesn't have to have a program. It's just there to kind of sort of future planning the garage that I have to do in the park. That's in between, kind of like the in-between spot in the parking garage and museum. So it's trying to mandatory space for the Children's Museum. And that's the site location from the corner. So you can see where the Children's Museum is going to be located. Here's some other views viewing to the site from 3rd Street. Sorry. And here's some other views of the site and the other parts of the site being involved, like the park. Where there's a parking lot, they're going to take that out. And also with the high-tech building, it's just another vacant parking lot. We have an issue with density. So we kind of want to revitalize that area, which is not too far from the downtown. That's what it is.
I have a very short question.
Okay.
You were talking about the scribbles for the Guggenheim, but you didn't actually show them. So.
Yeah, I can get a picture of that. Okay.
I took a picture. I was there, and had all the signatures.
Because like I got a lot of information from this video that I found from the documentary about it. It's a script of the documentary, but I mean, I got them in the book.
Yeah,
They're in the book. Yeah.
I don't have a lot. Yeah, the books I bought it. The books.
Okay, first my question is, because you're doing children, so were you trying to actually extract from surrealism?
Well, from what I'm trying to extract, I feel, as far as my title is concerned, I'm doing both. I'm trying to incorporate automatic techniques, and at the same time, more of what sounds like the dreamlike state that Dolly kind of did, and try to create architecture from that, because as it stands now, I still don't have really any previous precedents from that era, because it was in the 1920s and to 30s, and there's not really any surrealist architecture per se. I know some people, they want to say that Gaudi was surrealist, but as far as what I've read in their principles, that doesn't really line up. His forms are more his style is more art nouveau and inspired by nature, whereas opposed to surrealism, it really doesn't have anything to do with nature. So, and there's another architect. He's not really an architect, and he made this endless house, but it's not really a structure that I can draw from in order to create something. Sorry? Yeah, it's not really, it kind of, I didn't feel like it was helpful in order to kind of create one.
The question, I think, points to something that can be useful to you. Because for me, I think it's important that you be investigating something. I know you're going to try surrealist methods to see what kind of building you get. So that's one kind of observation. You can reflect on what you've done. Another one can be, because surrealism really hasn't been used architecturally, will be to talk about the kind of logic that has to ultimately be in the building versus the surrealist thing. There's going to be a tension there. to reflect on the fact that, you can't do silly things on the site. You can't have a non-functional, something that works. Whereas surrealism per se doesn't care whether it works or not. Right. It just is going to get what you get. So that tension between the fact that it's got to work and surrealism not caring if it works, it just wants sculpture. I think that can be an interesting reflection for you.
Agree with everything, right?
Right.
But architecture, something that we can learn in the research. So, what are you saying that designing, you're not going to look at the traditional way of doing?
Right.
Are you totally going to be saying this is a wall, you don't have to do exactly what's that? Are you totally going to get away from tradition and just investigate a new way of
I know, I get what you're saying. It's kind of like a sport thing where part of it has to do with meaning and creating this image that causes you things. So I can use, because like you're saying, I would use certain things in a way that they're not typically used, or create forms in a way that you don't regularly see it, like a wall. Doesn't necessarily have to be a support or columns, just be decoration, or using architectural, I guess, features in order to kind of create this surreal thing. Because, like for instance, the apple. It's like, we know originally the apple was for the consumer, but then you have this giant apple, and then it kind of takes on this other meaning. It's like, well, so what's the point of the apple? And that's kind of one of the things I kind of want to play with. I guess it would be like, I know somebody just told me this space, the Boston Children's Museum, they have this giant bottle of milk. And then it's just like, why is there a giant bottle of milk there? It's at Children's Museum, but we know what's the purpose. So that can be used for support, that can be used in the column. Just like kind of carrot. Target. The humans that are
Chair.
You're talking about the statues of the
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, kind of like a member.
We're kind of similar to that. That's what I was thinking about. Using things in a non-traditional sense to kind of, make you think about, things like that. So, it's going to be interesting because it's a children's museum, it's not a museum for an adult. So, oh yeah, there was like, but that's another thing. Like the giraffe, there was like there's a building that got put on museum. Right, but it was a children's like center, like daycare center, and it's a giant giraffe, and he's going through the top of the roof. So, but the building is cantilevered, but where it's really that's what the giraffe is. So the giraffe acts as support, but it cantilevered. And so that's kind of some of the things that I plan to do.
There's just one very small thing that kind of struck a nerve when you presented. When you say it's subconscious, but it's such an important part of your thesis is that here you draw from that. I'd say there's one thesis that's similar, and it's not as playful as yours, but I use the word unconscious because it shows the hierarchy of consciousness. Even the religious word unconscious creates a relationship between them. It just shows that hierarchy. You put in a subconscious and drawing from the subconscious. I just feel like maybe this could benefit from using the word unconscious.
Well, as far as like surrealism, technique goes, they adamantly use the word subconscious because I don't know, I'm gonna, like, one can be, I feel like one can be unconscious and not really have, thought, per se. But the subconscious is, I don't know, maybe it's more of a psychological sort of, because it's how the steps from,
I know that because I researched Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. And Carl Jung has been known, well, I hate the word subconscious because my word deals with unconscious. Fully unconscious, it's very hard to use the word unconscious. And I think that is adopted by a lot of people, but not everyone.
Right, yeah.
People still use the brain, still use the word subconscious. So I just think that I read that, well, that does kind of benefit.
Right. Well, the same in the flow, to be in the realm, so that's kind of terminology I have to use. I mean, otherwise, if we were just, I don't know, cognitive, and then I probably use the word unconscious, but since it's for this realism, that's going to be an objective, is for the subconscious, kind of stuff of using that word. Otherwise, you can use realism. Yeah.
Have you thought about pulling from surrealist paintings that you're drawn from, and probably like taking principles or doing analysis of those, and then using those for your architecture, or would you rather not go down that route?
That's actually the main source of inspiration. Is painting. I don't think, as far as the architecture is concerned, I don't want to do assemblages because that would mean I have to take different parts and then somebody together. And it won't allow for, I guess, the amount of creativity that I want. So yeah, the main probably gonna be painting. I'm leaning more towards the end of the period where it's not automatic. As far as my application is,
Right.
I guess it'd be better for me in order to use that as opposed to automatism.
Right.
And then I mean Gary did it, but
He's good.
I'm not trying to be Gary, so I kind of want to just derive,
Yeah,
like
because
my own.
one thing that's not a bit troublesome is, I guess, when you finally get up to present, is proving that your process was
Automatic.
Yeah.
That's why that's another thing. Like architecture can be fully automatic, and it has to be semi-automatic, and similar to the drawing, the deriving meaning. But Gary attempts at doing that, but I feel like it's way more conscious because after the drawing, he builds a lot of models, and they have to fit in the site. So he takes into account the context, he takes into account, the scale,
Right.
and everything has to fit in the site, and it has to be programmed, and he adjusts the forms based on the plan and the program. And I feel like I have more freedom in trying to create this image, as opposed to scribbling and then building these forms and then just like, I don't know.
I have to tell you, I just saw that it's in Greek in the Modern last weekend, Modern Art, the Museum of Modern Art, having a Greek show. Fabulous. I mean, that wasn't my favorite, but are you talking about Greek or something?
Surrealism.
Surrealism. Oh my God.
A couple of last things. I think the kids' museum is a good fit because it can be toy-like and playful. I wouldn't get too steep in the competition because the rules can cramp you. And the last thing is, I think that you're going to need some guiding agenda to be automatic within. Automatic about the site, automatic about kids, automatic about toys, rather than just saying, I think I'll be automatic. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it can be automatic, but it still has an overarching, I'll call it purposefulness. Because you don't want just any scribble. You want a scribble that's about a toy or your childhood. You may even want to see if you can get some kids involved. There's and see what they do. Okay, Craig's here Wednesday. He'll talk about his ideas about the thesis. You guys have your latest draft up here, so enjoy.